Most sports talking heads make predictions, then hope you forget about how wrong they were. But not Mackey and Judd.
Write this down.
This is the big leagues, where we own our terrible predictions.
Write that down.
And keep track of each other's batting averages. It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackey and Judd.
Welcome in. The only show in America. Well, this and our other daily show. So the only two shows in America that have the stones to actually keep track of our predictions with statistics. It's Write That Down here on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd. And gentlemen, this segment is sponsored by our friends at Target Field. The first place Minnesota Twins. That's right. We're sitting here. It's June 21st, and the Minnesota Twins are a first place ball club, and tickets are available. Twins.com/tickets. There he is. Look at that hat. Where'd you get that?
Giveaway.
That's a great hat.
Giveaway. Free. Never worn before. First time I've ever worn it.
Oh, man. Look at that.
I think what Judd misses the most about my season tickets is the bobbleheads I could get. I know Judd always texted me last year being like, hey, if you go to that game, could you go pick up that
I don't
bobblehead
think
for
they're
me?
doing specialty ones
Really?
this season.
That's lame.
Yeah, because they're doing a Carlos Correa one on July 7th. They did the Joe Ryan one in June. I don't think they're doing more specialty ones this
What
season.
if we did an Edward Julian bobblehead, but instead of the head bobbling, he could be bobbling a baseball? Like ground ball hit to... No? Okay.
What would
Anyways,
the Max Kepler one do now?
I should just continue to tell people that you can get tickets at twins.com/tickets. Hey, Royce Lewis, 3 more hits last night?
Hey,
A bomb. There's a couple fun guys to watch in that lineup. Alex Kirilloff, and there's a couple pitchers that are still at least going in the right direction here. Twins.com/tickets. It's also, even if the baseball isn't
can't go wrong
great,
at the ballpark. Right, exactly right.
the best bar in the Twin Cities. Let's be honest. So
exactly right.
go check them out. All right, boys. Here's how it works. Write that down. We'll put the visual on the screen here. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate, you can send us a message through the Score North app. Send it to Declan, and we'll get you scheduled for some time this summer. Joel is about to join us here. He is a Declan Goff protege, actually, a St. Cloud State / journalistic protege of Declan. So we'll get to him in just a moment. But let's go through the accountability session, starting with Judd.
Oh,
You said Ja Morant would be suspended for 50 games or more for the 2023-24 season. Only a 25-game suspension for Ja for carrying guns around.
I was disappointed. I thought I was going to be right, and I wasn't even close.
It's weird because, I don't know, he's not, harming anyone necessarily. It's bizarre behavior, but the NBA spent so much time 20 years ago trying to clean up the imagery, right?
Yes.
These thugs, these guys are thugs because they wear baggy clothes and stuff. And David Stern and Adam Silver was very high up in the league office too. They spent a lot of time just trying to clean up that image. And so I get it. All right, this one's still on the board here. You did say David Popkins would be dismissed as Twins hitting coach here. Mm-hmm. Where are we at with this one, do you think?
Well, it should be in green. It should be a ding, ding, ding. I don't know if we forgot that we employ him. And so we haven't fired him yet. That's a really good question. I have no idea how he's still employed. I mean, what would you say you do here? I'm a hitting coach, damn it.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here, but so David Popkins is in his early 30s, right? He's a young guy. He's never been a big league hitting coach, right? He was
correct. And he's an analytics background guy, I believe.
He retired. Okay. He retired as an active player in 2000. He was a minor league player. He retired as an active player in 2017. In 2019, the Dodgers named him as hitting coach for their Arizona League team, the Arizona Dodgers of the Arizona League, which is that's a rookie level. So there's AAA, AA, high A, low A, and then rookie league.
Yeah, in Florida, it's called the Florida Complex League now or something.
Okay.
Yep.
And then before he landed the job with the Twins, he was coaching in the Great Lakes. So the Great Lakes Loons of the Midwest League. That's a high A team.
Yep.
So again, correct me if I'm wrong here,
Yes.
the highest he reached as a player was AA. The highest he reached as a coach was high A. He's 33 years old, and now he's a major league hitting coach the last couple of years.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, you've said
I
nothing
agree with
wrong. I
There's-
can't correct
there's
you.
failing
Right?
up.
I'm just stating facts on a resume.
They had Levitard interviewed Skip Schumacher, the former Cardinal utility guy, who's now the Marlins manager, who's also honestly doing a very, very good job. I totally forgot they had him as a manager, but he like explained his story of how because he was a fringe roster guy or like mostly like a utility guy with the Cardinals, that he like learned so much behind the scenes, but with La Russa, and then he was with the Padres as a coach, and then he was with the Cardinals last year as a bench coach. He like absorbed all this info, and he is only 43 years old. But yes, I'd rather have that guy. I'd rather have someone who's like been around a little bit
That's
more
the
than
thing.
someone who hasn't reached above A ball as a coach.
It's like, I guess if you're some of these veteran hitters who are struggling, if you're a Carlos Correa who's having the worst season of his career, let's just use him as an example. David Popkins comes around, and maybe those guys get along. I'm sure they do, whatever. I'm sure Popkins is a good guy. But, he comes around the corner like, hey, I got some thoughts for you, Carlos. I don't know. It's just a weird... Like, Judd, if we hired someone to come in here as the podcasting coach who had never done, like, any level of TV or radio or had never grown a big podcast or anything and says, hey, I got a couple thoughts on, like...
Yeah.
It's just...
I know. Well, and they're all failing.
Hey.
That's the thing about it. Like, who's hitting well?
Well, they're on
There's
pace
a-
to set the major league record for strikeouts. So
There's a headline from last year. Twins hitting coach David Popkins is, quote, the real deal despite lack of experience. That's a story
What
here.
publication was that from?
Well, J.D. Durbin
the-
also was nicknamed the real deal.
The Athletic.
Okay, yeah.
Doing a great job.
Old Macadac said Victor Hovland and Brooks Koepka would be in the final pairing at the United States Open. They both made the cut, but
Hey.
I think we can take this one off the board, especially because wouldn't want to disrespect a man who's going to be on
appear on
Flagrant
your
House
show.
this week. Chris Finch will not be on the Wolves. I will not be the Wolves coach on August 1st of 2020. We'll just, Finchy.
You want to show him that one?
Should I?
Actually, have me a guest predictor and take that one off the board while he's on.
And then this one's still on the board. It almost came off the board, though. I said early in the year, like in January, that Ricky Fowler will win a golf tournament this year after basically falling off the map for 2 years.
So close.
Man, he was leading the U.S. Open, and he kind of melted down on Sunday. Still with a top 5 finish, but it's still on the board. There's still plenty of tournaments left here. Let's make it happen, Rick. All right, nothing off the board for the listeners, but here's a highlighted feature prediction from Zach. He said in the 2023 season, Byron Buxton will play in at least 100 games, hit 30 bombs, and will steal at least 30 bases. So he has he's got like 6 or 7 stolen bases. He's not going to get to 30.
Right.
He has 10 homers. I don't know.
And then after being pushed, thankfully, by our friend Chip Scoggins, Rocco finally said that Byron Buxton, he said this last night, physically cannot play the outfield right now.
But he kind of made it sound like, Rocco made it sound like, as I've been saying the whole time, I'm not saying anything different. I don't think they've ever come out and said, they've always said they're going to be cautious with him.
Right.
They've never said he physically can't
Yes.
play the outfield, which is what was stated yesterday.
Yes,
right?
and that's the statement that changes it to, okay, it's a chronic problem. You could have just said in spring training, he's probably done playing the outfield. And I got to think that if he ever does get back out there, center field's a complete non-starter now.
Yeah, it's really tough, man. Such an unfortunate situation here.
Sad.
Declan, the bloodbath from Purple Daily
Yeah, it was
continues
a
into
rough week here.
this show here. You
What-
said
what
John
Declan?
Rahm.
Dex goes, it was a rough week here. I said, what, Declan? I couldn't hear that. He's very upset that he is now
No,
0 for 6.
it was a rough week.
Okay.
Jed, would you like to needle Declan more here, or should I go into the?
I just want to get a shot in before it's done, okay?
Okay. Declan said John Rahm and Brooks Koepka would be in the final pairing at the U.S. Open. You said the winner of the U.S. Open would shoot no better than -6. Well, -8 was the round one leading
Yeah.
score.
Actually, only obviously Wyndham shot 10 under. Was Rory 8 I think he finished 2 strokes.
Yeah,
So
this
only
was.
so actually only 2 guys finished better than this at the end of the day. But yeah, after round 1, I was like, oh crap, this isn't even going to come close.
You said Jorge Lopez will not allow an earned run in his next 3 consecutive appearances. Well, he allowed a crooked number and then was put on the mental health list for 2 weeks. So with that, Judd maintains a lead here, although it's not as big of a lead as it was before. 351 with 5 home runs. He leads both categories. Declan, 269 with 2 home runs. Listeners, 250 with 2 home runs. Old Macadek still below the Mendoza line at 188 and 3 home runs. All-time, Declan with a 373 average leads everybody. Judd with 278 career hits leads everybody. Listeners with 44 home runs lead everybody. So let's...
In honor of Phil, I bring you a baseball card of Mario Mendoza. Right there.
Oh my
Here it
God.
is.
Is that autographed?
The Mendoza line. It's a fake one. It's a stamp. But yes, there it is. There are the averages.
We have fake Mendoza autographs?
There are the Mendoza. All of the 1975 cards were stamped with fake.
Amazing.
Autographs.
Thank you for the.
I just
want
to pay tribute to you.
No, I appreciate that. It's kind of panic time here. I feel like we're 1 week away from because the midpoint way is more like end of July because we go through the
small
Super
sample
Bowl,
size, Phil. Don't worry about it. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Exactly. All right, let's get Declan's protege in here from St. Cloud State. Joel is joining the show as a guest listener predictor. Is that a Kirko Chains shirt you're rocking there?
It is indeed a Kirko Chains shirt.
Can we point out the astounding similarities between the hair?
There's a lot of similarities.
Little red tint, little pump.
Yeah, I mean that's this is very, very interesting.
So you guys have met before?
Yeah. I met him. He was at St. Cloud State for Be a Broadcaster Day back, I think, in the fall or winter. And he tweeted out on Twitter, I'm going to be there. So I replied to him like, yo, Declan Goff is going to be there. And then the next day I went up to him and we took a picture. So what's
your favorite thing about Declan?
He's young, so he has a young fan perspective. And I'm young, of course.
Yeah. Well, you guys, this is amazing. You guys literally look like
I'm not so sure you're not him. Like I feel like I'm in some type of weird world.
I should have brought my glasses in today. I didn't bring them. But I should have just worn my glasses. Just a couple Buddy Hollies here making predictions. We should have done the same thing.
It's like this is like the Spider-Man meme right now. This is great. Just pointing at each other.
Who's who?
So, all right, well, we'll get into it here. Joel, you're going to start us off with your first prediction, and then over to Judd, Declan, and I'll round out the trips around the bases here. So, Joel, first of all, how did you become a Minnesota sports fan? Just kind of born in Minnesota? Mm-hmm. Like, what was your first ever heartbreak?
So, obviously, as can be seen, I'm very young, probably one of the youngest people you've ever had on here. I'm only 18. I became a Vikings fan around 2014 when they drafted Teddy Bridgewater. Loved Teddy Bridgewater. Got a jersey before it was cool. So that was pretty cool. Twins Wild Wolves are a lot more recent, around 2019. My highlight moment is being at the Vikings and Colts game. And unlike Judd, I did stay the whole time. So at least I have one up on you, Judd.
Oh my God, yes. And you weren't bullied by your friend group to leave, which is great too, because that means that you have good friends.
At halftime, I looked at my mom and just said, if they score any points, I'll be happy. So,
Judd, you know that YouTube version of Ventline, which I don't think would have become as big if we hadn't started with we started at halftime.
Right.
That YouTube video is up to 170,000 plays. It's by far the most listened to or watched Ventline episode ever. It was worth it from a content perspective for you to come back. Oh,
absolutely. But I got bullied. I got strong-armed. I'm just saying that some people stayed and some didn't, and I feel bad about not.
Yep. So, well, you live and you learn, I guess, when it comes to the Vikings. So, Amen. All right, Joel / young Declan, we'll start with you. Over to Judd, Declan, back to me. So you go ahead. You're leading off. Right.
My last thing is I am in the Twitter cabinet. I should mention that. Director of Future Heartbreak Operations.
Awesome. Look at this.
Good job. You're doing a hell of a job.
That was in September or October. I would have been 17 at the time.
One of our Purple Daily leaders here. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Future of America right there. Future of Minnesota sports heartbreak. So, thank you very much.
Well,
Mhm.
gonna need you in the future. This is a very
Yeah.
key cabinet position for sure.
I'll
I hope
be
you
dead
don't
at
ever
some
need
point.
me, but I'm there.
No, we will.
I guess
We will
I'm
for
there.
sure.
Oh, we'll need you because I'm going to croak at some point here.
When the Twins blow this division lead, I'll be there.
Dude, don't even worry about that. Go Cleveland. That's all I got to say.
Wow,
Go
Judd
Cleveland.
Changes need to happen.
you're
Change
just done.
needs to happen.
Oh, God, I'm done. Yes. Yes.
All right, Joel, what is your first prediction, sir?
Perfect. My first prediction, I'm going to kick it off with a Vikings one. It involves two players that Judd has had his eyes on in the offseason during OTAs and minicamp. To kick it off, Josh Metellus will have at least 2 times more defensive snaps this season than Lewis Seen.
Wow.
Josh Metellus, I think he's a hidden
I
gem.
love him.
We didn't know a whole lot in his first couple seasons, but he's really been playing well last year. And Judd's made it seem like in the Brian Flores defense, he's going to be playing pretty well and having a good role too. And Lewis Seen, you could almost call him a bust. Maybe it's still early for that, but he just hasn't lived up to the expectations that we had for him being a first-round pick.
Is it a fair characterization, Judd, to say that the organization is higher right now on Josh Metellus than Lewis Seen?
Absolutely fair. Yes.
No.
And part of the reason I think is this: the most successful guys in the Flores scheme are going to know how to play multiple spots. Like Metellus literally played 3 spots: nickel, rover, sort of, and safety. As far as I can see, seen as a safety. Like they're not trying to load him up. I think Metellus is incredibly bright too. So yes, I think from an overall perspective of a professional, Metellus is easily ahead of Seen. And barring injury, I think that prediction's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Very,
Write this down.
very interesting. Also, Josh Metellus, Michigan?
Yep, 6th round
Michigan man?
6th
So
round
there's the Jim Harbaugh connection there. Jim Harbaugh is probably in Kwesi's ear, right?
Ooh, that's
Why don't you, there's a column idea for you right there. Anyone write that one? Go get a hold of Jim Harbaugh. And for VikingsWire.com.
If I get a hold of Jim, I'm going to ask him, how close were you to being the Vikings coach? That's the only question I got for him.
All right, over to Judd for your
Write this
first
down.
prediction.
Okay, despite what I said about the Twins, I am going to make a prediction here based on the fact that the Twins have gone so far off the cliff. I think they're going to pull themselves back on a little bit. The Twins will win at least 2 of 3 this weekend in Detroit. So they just lost 3 of 4. Detroit's not good. Detroit was, I remind you, 1-11 in the month of June before they came to Target Field. And so I think the Twins are going to pull themselves up a little bit. And I feel like we've got some wild, furious rally to them as well. Like last night, hey, we'll hit some home runs late. Look at that. So I think the Twins are on the path of just being despicable. And that despicability will include 2 of 3 wins this weekend.
I love
Hey.
I love Judd's like that's
Yeah.
like the collective voice of the Twins is hey kids.
3 home runs a late, furious rally. I mean, that's like Miko Koivu from Zucker and Parisi at
Listen.
19:15 of the 3rd period.
They'll figure it out. These guys have been playing baseball their whole lives, going back to when they were 6 years old. They know how to play the game of baseball. They will be just fine going forward.
Don't
Okay.
I don't want to do it.
Let's just get to the next prediction here. Declan, go ahead.
All right, so I have a Wolves draft prediction, but I don't want to get burned here due to the complicated nature of NBA draft trades and teams like, having reportedly moved up. So I do need. I'm gonna ask for some help here if the room will allow it.
Okay.
If that's
Sure,
okay.
you can ask all you want.
So my prediction is the Wolves will not draft a player at 53.
Okay.
Is that if they do a trade where they move up, but they still technically are the team that slotted at 53, making the pick for the Hornets? This is where I don't want to get burned.
Trades can't be consummated. I think you need to just put a time range on. Say that the Wolves will not. Well, the Wolves will not make a pick at 53. Let's say they make a pick at 53, but then that player gets included in a trade that's consummated on July 7th.
So the Wolves will not.
Does that
make a
mean they
pick-
didn't make a pick at 53 because it was on behalf of another team?
The Wolves will not make a pick at 53, or they will pick for another team at 53.
Yeah. And you'll know that. And let's put like a 48-hour window of grace period, because maybe like it trickles out the next day or something. But I think if you make a pick, then like, and you don't have an announced
Right.
trade on draft night or something, then you have to keep that player for at least a period of time. So we'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. It's close
Okay.
enough. All right.
Write this down.
Write this down. The Wolves will make a trade on draft night. On draft night, there will be a reported or consummated trade by the Timberwolves. Now, could it be for the number 3 and scoot, or could it just be moving up from 53 to 48 in the second round? I don't know, but the Wolves will make a reported trade on draft night.
Okay.
Write it down.
Write this down.
All right, back to Joel.
Oh, Joel, you're muted on your side, I believe, sir.
There we go.
My bad.
There we go.
There we
You're
go.
good.
I was zoned out for a minute, but that happens to the best of us.
All right, Joel,
All right.
your second prediction.
I'm
You're on
ready,
with
Declan,
Declan,
guys.
It's just like I can't be on with Declan Goff. It's incredible.
Declan does make people nervous sometimes.
Yeah, I do that.
I know. Well, perfect. I've got a 4-item Twins parlay for you guys. And to be clear, all of these are end of the season, just so you know. Royce Lewis will lead the Twins in batting average, minimum 150 at bats. Carlos Correa will have at least 23 home runs. The Twins will have at least 1,650 team strikeouts. And Byron Buxton will have no starts in the field this season.
Mm-hmm.
Write that down.
Yeah. I think
Write this down.
those are all very valid, and I think that'd be the strikeout record, right? 1,650
Oh, yeah.
would be a new strikeout record.
1596 is the record.
We can do it. Let's make it happen, guys. Come on,
We're well on the way.
hang that banner.
Go Popkins. Go Poppy. Doing a hell of a job. Here's how you strike out a lot. Hey, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Coach. Okay, back to Judd.
All right. I want to talk about a feel-good baseball team that I don't despise. So I'm going to talk about the National League Central's Cincinnati Reds, who have been a great story, in part because of Spencer Steer, former Twin. Write this down. The Reds will not only make the playoffs, but will win at least one series this season. So the Reds will be a playoff team, and they will win a series.
Wow.
At least one this season.
It's kind of fun to see some of these teams like the Reds, the Orioles, the Diamondbacks are in first place in their division. And even the Giants weren't expected to be that good. They've won 9 games in a row.
Seeing
They're
the
in
Reds
second
good
place.
is fun, though. That's a fun young team. And that shortstop is unbelievable.
Yeah. Cool uniforms, too. It's kind of the
Actually,
red.
Yeah.
Cool logo.
I don't disagree with that.
Write this
Love
down.
Vato. Write this down. I'm kind of going to buy something that Judd was selling there with the tides maybe turning for the local team. So write it down. Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, and Joey Gallo will combine for at least 5 home runs. They've been just home run lists for the most part. They will combine for at least 5 home runs by next week's. Write that down.
Okay.
So these 3 guys will run into some baseballs. I don't care the combination of how it happens, but Buxton, Correa, Gallo, they'll combine for at least 5 dingers by next week's. Write that down.
The Gallo thing's funny. I see all these people like, look at how great he was the first month, but then look at how bad he's been this other month. It's like, yeah, that's that. Have you? Welcome to the Joey Gallo experience. This is exactly who he's been pretty much his whole career. Now with the Yankees, he was just bad all the time, and sometimes guys get nervous with the Yankees or whatever. But there's a good chance that, in fact, maybe I'll just make this prediction.
Write
Yeah,
this
do it.
down.
Joey Gallo will have, how do I quantify this? I don't know if I can. I might just move away from it. No, Joey Gallo will have a month. I'll say this. He'll have a month where he hits at least 8 home runs between now and the end of the year. So I guess July, August, or September. In one of those months, Joey Gallo will hit at least 8 home runs.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how he rolls, man. He'll just go nuclear for like 4 weeks, and then he'll be unplayable again. Okay, right now.
Write this down.
All right, back to Joel here for your third and final prediction.
All right, perfect. Before I unleash this prediction, I must ask, are you guys still planning on having a scoop session with Doogie tomorrow?
So we have 2. We have a bonus one that'll be today, Joel, and then we have like our main one is scheduled for tomorrow too. So I guess 2 in this week.
All right. I might have to call an audible. That still works. We'll say, Have you not filmed yours today yet?
Not yet. Nope, we're doing it in like half hour.
Perfect. All right, Doogie, I don't know if you're listening to this, but if you are, take off the headphones. This is actually about you.
You're fine.
By the way,
You're good.
zero. I don't. I think there's a chance he's listening, but I can tell you if he is, zero chance he's taking his headphones off. Zero chance. But
All right, Doogie, please just ignore me. So we'll make this about today's then. You can let me know if I need to add a little to it or if this is too much of a bunt. Doogie will use the term kumbaya and or uber blank at least once during today's scoop session.
so this is the Wednesday scoop session that you guys record.
The one you can film today.
Okay. All right, you guys are gonna have to be the trackers on that.
That's an all-time
going to
bunt,
be
man.
on a
You
company
got,
cruise.
you got this point.
Hey, you can change it from and or to just and it can be both
Oh,
if you want.
Okay.
If you think it's too much of a bunt.
It's fine.
Let's
I'm just saying you
Don't
are
pressure Joel. Don't
you are
pressure.
100% on the right track.
Got a guest on here, and you're making him question himself.
Yeah,
I'm
what are you doing?
including him in
What
our
do you-
group. I'm
hey,
including
sports
him in
dad.
our fun. I'm including him in
I'm
our
just trying to
fun.
be fair. Treat me like you treat any of you guys.
Exactly
That's
what
what I'm
see?
thinking.
See, this is broadcasting, man. You got to have thick skin, and Joel clearly does. You two are like,
All right.
just treat him like a kid. I'm not going to treat him like a kid.
Adjacent professor.
Great handle.
Judd will be a professor at St. Cloud this fall semester.
I will
could
sign up
totally
for
see it.
all classes.
I'd love to be a professor at St. Cloud State because we would
Judd,
head right to
Professor
the
Judd's
bar
all good.
where I would teach all my classes where every young sports journalist belongs, and that isn't a bar.
The
Shoot, I'm only
the
18 now.
Applebee's bar.
No, we wouldn't be in the Alpes, although I have been there actually.
Oh, the Mankato Applebee's was always a great place to
I
throw. a couple
actually
back.
stayed when I went to St. Cloud last. I actually stayed in a place that had an Applebee's. I think
Yeah, Holiday Inn.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Got
I know
really
exactly what
got
you're
I
talking
got a little overserved.
Dude,
though.
I'm so mad that they took the Applebee's away from campus. The Applebee's on campus at the University of
Oh, that's
Minnesota, I
gone?
should say, is gone. I think it's a.
I can't get there anymore because of the train.
Is it a? It's not a Raising Cane's. There's a Raising Cane's down the street. It's something. Oh, it's like a Chick-fil-A. It's a Chick-fil-A now.
Yes, I
which I
think
love
that's right.
Chick-fil-A, but not at the expense of an Applebee's. Don't
Oh, I
make me
didn't know
choose
that.
between Chick-fil-A and Applebee's.
Very different things.
Anyways, young Declan / Joel here. Great work. Awesome predictions. Since you've got this life-changing platform here, is there anyone you'd like to thank that brought you to this pinnacle moment?
Absolutely. I would like to start by thanking my family for putting up with my sports watching and watching you guys pretty much every day, both on here and PD. And I'd like to thank my two podcast partners. We did start our own podcast in high school about the Vikings. So this is our set. We just move my
Love
pet out
it.
every week and film in here. So Sam and Big Lou. And then I'd like to thank you guys for having me on and for putting out your great content and giving me the opportunity to be here with you today. So, and Declan for looking like me. Really, I should say me for looking like him,
Yeah.
but
Declan,
Young
do you have
Declan.
any words of advice here to so you're starting your first semester
yeah,
in the fall,
I will be,
at
yeah.
St. Cloud State, also known as the school that Declan built.
Yeah, the Harvard of the Midwest. Yeah, man, I would just get involved early. I would get involved at KVSC. I'd get involved at UTVS. I mean, they had that awesome upgrade up there where, I think I talked about it at the Be the Broadcaster Day. I got spoiled because I just thought every radio station had like high up technology and all these great things at your disposal. Where when you get in the real world, that's not always the case. But you get all these great tools and stuff and resources to use, my guy. So get up there and get after it and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
Sounds awesome.
only visited two colleges. One was St. Cloud State. The other one I won't name just to keep it safe here. But I looked at the broadcasting department in both of them, and it was like uncomparable. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
Don't let people dog on St. Cloud State, okay? Yeah, exactly. They got a great
Morris?
broadcasting program. Just because it's everyone's favorite safety school does
Mankato?
not mean that that you can get good things out of it.
I will vouch for the University of Minnesota journalism program, but I also played online poker in the back of every classroom the 2 years I was there, so I don't even know what they were saying. I was on party poker pretty much. So I'm sure St. Cloud State's great too. Don't gamble, kids. Joel, great stuff, man. Thanks for
Perfect.
coming
Thank
on.
you guys.
Good
Hi,
luck.
Declan Jr.
We'll get you on again sometime when Declan takes a sick day and nobody will notice.
No, that's what I was going to say. We could actually,
one knows.
Declan could take vacations, and Joel could just come in,
Yeah.
and it'd be a perfect.
No,
Be like, hey,
no
Declan,
one-
get off here.
his
No one
body,
would
his
tell the
body
difference.
double. Yeah.
I should have brought my glasses today. That would have been awesome.
Young Declan premiering on CBS this fall.
Oh, man. Before we finish out this last lap here, a shout out to our friends at Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Man, 90 degrees this week. So many bodies of water for you to take a Bennington out on with your friends, your family. Create that next friend/family moment that you're going to remember. Power Lodge has locations in Brainerd, Onamia, and Ramsey, and Miller Marine in St. Cloud. And, man, there's over 300 pontoons in stock. So go check them out. Get some throttle therapy, Judd.
Absolutely. And I mean, look at that. Look at the rest and relaxation. There's Declan and his buddies all jumping off, enjoying a day out there. Look, summers are short, right? But the Bennington is exactly what you need before the Vikings start. Throttle therapy is going to put you in a great state of mind. In fact, when you're out there on the Bennington, all the kicks are good.
Oh, there's Judd flexing that bicep while getting his fishing reel ready. Powerlodge.com or millermarine.com. Check them out. All right. Let's go back to Judd here. Your third and final prediction.
So I'm going to actually a little bit at least combat what Phil's prediction is and say this. By the end of the regular season, Max Kepler and Joey Gallo will no longer be on the Twins roster.
Hater.
Both will be gone. Don't know how. Perhaps
didn't Max hit a bomb last night?
He also hit.
I stopped watching at 10-0. I heard
he also hit into a double play that was maybe the most pathetic ball hit I've ever seen. 6 inches, if that.
I don't know. I thought he was getting squeezed. He had to swing. He felt.
Write this down.
I'm with you. He's worthless.
Well, the shift being gone has helped him. So
it hasn't. It has not helped Knox. All right, Dex. What's your third and final?
All right, write this down. A member of the Twins coaching staff or front office will be fired by August 1st.
Okay.
I think it's more likely the coaching staff side, but I don't want to lose out on this because some front office guy gets let go. A member of the Twins coaching staff or front office will be fired by August 1st.
You know what's crazy? I don't think that's going to happen.
Probably not.
I just don't. This is not... unless it's toxic or something. If all of a sudden now, like internally, they turn on Rocco, the clubhouse, turn
Rocco
on
just got
Hopkins.
extended. Yeah.
When did
Rocco,
that even? So that just happened in the middle of the night at some point in the offseason and just kind of
happened a while ago because I think didn't Ken Rosenthal report it, but said it had been months ago that it was quietly done.
Just very quietly. Hey, Rocco. Hey.
It's like Pete Mackey. Don't throw the ball over the plate so it gets hit. Okay, I'm going back to the dugout now.
Thanks, guy. Appreciate it. Okay, well, I feel like Joel kind of stole one. I wanted to get on the board with the Byron Buxton will not play in the outfield this season. It's like feels like a layup, and I wanted it. But he already made the prediction as part of the parlay. Mm-hmm. And the rules state that if you're going to make the same prediction to someone else that week, you have to change it. So I will say... I guess I'm going to make this a long-term one. Byron Buxton will not play in the outfield all season, nor will he play in the outfield in March or April in a regular season game. So he will not play in the outfield. What I really want to predict is he will not play in the outfield ever again, but then that just sits on the board for 6 years.
I thought of that too. Yeah, that's a problem.
So he will not play in the outfield the rest of this season, nor will he play in the outfield in a regular season game in March or April of 2024. So this will continue beyond 2023 is my prediction. So just turn it into a long-term one there, I guess.
Write this down.
If that knee is that bad, though, here's my question. At what point is he just done playing?
Well, and now, like, with the bat, this is the worst season he's had offensively. Like, if you look at like his OPS compared to the last few years, I mean, he's been a viable hitter when he's been on the field, a really good above average hitter, power hitter.
Yeah.
This is the worst offensive season he's had in years. So, yeah, like at some point, I don't know, man. But I mean, is he just going to be a DH for the next 6 years?
If they're basically saying that he can't stand in the outfield and it brings too much pain, then he can probably barely run the bases at times.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing about it. At some point in time, he's going to be just done. Like if this is chronic and it can't be fixed, he ain't going to see this entire contract through.
It's tough, man.
It sucks. It's really, really sad story. But I just don't see I don't see light at the end of the tunnel here if it's as bad as it sounds.
Dude, I've also one thing that kind of so many rants. One more quick one, then we can be done. One thing that kind of pisses me off. I've seen these little threads about like, well, look at the offensive numbers for Miguel Sano and Byron Buxton. They're pretty much the same, and yet people hate on Miguel Sano and they give Buxton all these chances. Okay, let's say they're offensively like equal statistically or whatever. Like they have the same OPS or Sano's better. One guy was a generationally great center fielder defensively, like the best center fielder anyone has seen in 20 years. And just through no fault of his own, his body continues to break down. The other guy was basically a positionless ogre that came into spring training 20 to 30 pounds overweight annually. Couldn't stick at shortstop, couldn't stick at third, was a below average first baseman defensively. They tried to put him in the outfield one year too, and it was like such a train wreck that, I mean, that was a bad organizational decision. But like, I think it's fair to say Miguel Sano, huge disappointment for self-inflicted reasons. Byron Buxton, huge disappointment for just unfortunate, out of his control, largely injury reasons, right?
Right.
So they're not,
Sympathy
you can't
for
put them
one,
in the same sentence. You can't.
Zero sympathy for Sano.
I would agree with that. Yep.
All his fault.
All right. Well, we got to let Declan go here because he has to go tutor the next generation of St. Cloud State
Damn
kids.
right.
One
We
at a
clearly
time.
tutors to look like him. This is weird. This
You
is
go to
like
a
some type of
classroom,
horror film.
Dude, you
It's
go into
all
a journalism
Declan's.
class, it's like 16 guys who look like Declan.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yep.
It's like a 90210 episode.
On him.
Amazing. All right, that's a wrap here on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd. Write that down. The only show in America that actually has the guts to put stats next to our predictions. See ya.